Ladies and gentlemen, every one of us at some point in life has found ourselves in a place where the weight of the world feels unbearable. It's a place where silence speaks louder than words, and tears become the language of the heart. In moments like these, we begin to wonder if anyone truly understands, if anyone sees what we're going through. But let me remind you today of an unchanging truth: God sees, God hears, and God knows. God's awareness of your life is not casual or distant. It is deeply intimate and personal. Every detail of your existence, from the most public moments to the most private struggles, is fully known to Him. He sees beyond what others can see. He sees the layers of your heart, the intentions behind your actions, and the silent battles you fight when no one is watching. There is nothing too small or insignificant for His attention. When you wake in the morning and take your first breath, He is aware. When you go about your day, making decisions, facing challenges, or enjoying simple pleasures, He notices. Even the moments you consider mundane are moments He treasures, because you are His creation. He observes your effort, your perseverance, and your quiet determination to keep moving forward, even when it feels like the odds are stacked against you. God sees the weight of your responsibilities, the dreams you carry, and the sacrifices you make for the people you love. He sees the nights when sleep eludes you because your mind is heavy with worry. He sees the tears that fall when no one else is around to wipe them away. Every sigh, every whispered prayer, every unspoken longing is fully visible to Him. His awareness is not like human observation, limited by time or perspective. God's view is eternal and complete. He sees not only where you are, but where you have been and where you are going. He sees the road ahead, the obstacles you will face, and the victories that await you. His vision encompasses the entirety of your journey, and nothing escapes His notice. This divine attentiveness is rooted in love. God doesn't see you out of obligation or curiosity. He sees you because He cares deeply for you. Like a parent who watches over their child with tenderness and concern, God is fully present in your life, observing every detail with a heart full of compassion. He is not indifferent to your struggles or dismissive of your pain. Every hurt you endure matters to Him, and every joy you experience brings Him delight. Even when it feels like no one notices the effort you put into your work, your relationships, or your personal growth, God sees it all. He sees the times you choose to do the right thing when it's difficult, the times you extend kindness when it's not reciprocated, and the times you press on when giving up seems easier. Nothing you do in faith, love, or perseverance is ever overlooked by Him. God's awareness also extends to your potential. He sees beyond your current circumstances and recognizes the person you are becoming. He sees the gifts He has placed within you, the strengths that are being developed through your trials, and the purpose He has designed for your life. Even when you feel inadequate or unworthy, God sees you as valuable and capable. This knowledge should bring you comfort and assurance. You are never invisible to God. Even in moments of loneliness or despair, when it feels like the world has turned a blind eye, you can rest in the truth that you are fully seen and known. His attentiveness is a reminder of His presence and His promise to never leave you nor forsake you. God's watchful eye is not just about observation, it is about involvement. He sees your needs and provides for them in ways you may not always recognize. He sees your pain and works to bring healing. He sees your dreams and aligns circumstances to fulfill His purpose in your life. His vision is always accompanied by action, always directed toward your good. When you feel unseen or forgotten, remember that the Creator of the universe is intimately aware of your life. His knowledge is perfect, His care is constant, and His love is unchanging. You are fully known, fully seen, and fully loved. Nothing escapes His notice, and nothing is beyond His reach. There is a profound comfort in knowing that God hears the cries of your heart. When words fail and you cannot articulate the depth of your pain or the weight of your struggles, God hears, not limited by language or constrained by the barriers that exist between people. He hears the unspoken, the inaudible, and the silent cries that rise from the deepest parts of your soul. Every sigh, every groan, and every tear carries a message that God understands. The cries of your heart are not just the words you speak in prayer, they are the emotions, longings, and burdens you carry within. He listens not with judgment, but with compassion, fully attuned to the essence of your being. Even when you feel alone and unheard by those around you, you can trust that God's ear is always inclined toward you. When you cry out in desperation, feeling the weight of life's challenges, God hears you. He doesn't just hear the surface level expressions of pain, he hears the depth behind them. He understands the fears you try to suppress, the doubts you hesitate to voice, and the hopes you dare not speak aloud. Nothing is hidden from him. The cries of your heart are not lost in the noise of the world. To God, they are precious and personal. There are times when the cries of your heart come in the form of frustration or confusion, when you wonder why life has taken a certain turn or why you must endure certain trials. Even then, God hears you. He is not offended by your honesty or put off by your questions. Instead, he listens with the patience of a loving father, knowing that your cries are part of your journey toward understanding and growth. When your heart cries out for help, for healing, or for hope, God's response is never one of indifference. He hears with the intention to act. His hearing is not passive, it is purposeful. Every cry that reaches him moves his heart and sets his plans into motion. While the answers may not come in the way or timing you expect, they come from a God who is faithful and loving, working all things for your good. Even the cries you feel too ashamed to voice are heard by God. He hears the brokenness, the regrets, and the fears that you hide from others. He hears the silent confessions and the pleas for forgiveness. His response is not condemnation but grace. He listens with a heart full of mercy, eager to bring healing and restoration to the areas of your life where you feel most vulnerable. In moments of joy, too, the cries of your heart reach him. He hears your gratitude, your praise, and your delight in his blessings. The cries of celebration are as precious to him as the cries of pain. Whether you are shouting with joy or weeping in sorrow, God is always listening. God's ability to hear the cries of your heart is a testament to his nearness. He is not a distant deity, removed from the realities of your life. He is a close and present Father who delights in being part of your journey. His attentiveness is constant, and his concern is unwavering. There is no cry too small or too insignificant for his attention. When you cry out to God, you are not speaking into a void. You are connecting with the Creator who knows you intimately and loves you unconditionally. Your cries are not ignored, they are cherished. God treasures the moments when you turn to him, even when your words are broken or incomplete. The cries of your heart are sacred to God. They are a reflection of your humanity and your dependence on him. They are a reminder that you were never meant to carry life's burdens alone. In every cry, there is an opportunity for you to draw closer to him, to experience his love, and to rest in his peace. God hears you in every season of your life. He hears you in the moments of triumph and in the moments of despair. He hears you when you are full of faith and when you are struggling to believe. His ear is never closed, and his heart is never far. Trust that every cry you make is met with his compassion, his understanding, and his promise to be with you always. God knows your pain intimately, not in a distant or abstract way, but with a depth of understanding that surpasses human comprehension. He is fully aware of every tear you have shed, every silent ache you have felt, and every burden you have carried in your heart. Your pain is not hidden from him, nor is it dismissed. He sees it clearly even when you try to mask it from others or push it down to keep moving forward. He knows the physical pain you endure, the limitations it places on your body, and the frustration that comes with it. He understands the emotional pain that grips your heart, the loneliness, the heartbreak, the rejection, and the grief. He is acquainted with the mental struggles, the racing thoughts, the anxieties that keep you awake at night, and the questions that go unanswered. Nothing escapes his knowledge, and his understanding is complete. God's knowledge of your pain is personal because he created you. He formed you with care and knows every fiber of your being. He knows how each trial impacts you uniquely, how your heart responds, and how your mind processes the challenges you face. He doesn't view your pain as a general or collective experience. He sees it through the lens of your individual journey, your specific circumstances, and your personal story. When you feel misunderstood by those around you, when it seems no one truly grasps the depth of your hurt, God does. He is the one who knows the words you can't say and the feelings you can't express. He understands the complexities of your pain, the layered emotions, the conflicting thoughts, and the weariness that comes from carrying it all. His knowledge is not detached or clinical, it is filled with compassion and empathy. God knows your pain intimately because he has walked through pain himself. In Jesus, he experienced the depth of human suffering, from betrayal by friends to the physical agony of the cross. He knows what it is to feel abandoned, to cry out in anguish, and to bear a weight too heavy to carry alone. This shared experience means he doesn't just see your pain, he identifies with it. He knows what it is to suffer, and he walks with you through every moment of your own suffering. This intimate knowledge is not just for observation, it is for intervention. God doesn't merely acknowledge your pain, he works to bring healing, restoration, and purpose out of it. He sees the impact your pain has on your life, and he knows the way to lead you through it. His plans are never to leave you in despair, but to guide you toward hope and renewal. He is the God who turns mourning into joy, who exchanges ashes for beauty, and who brings light into the darkest places. Even in moments when it feels like your pain is endless or meaningless, God's intimate knowledge assures you that it is neither. He knows how to use even the most difficult seasons to shape you, refine you, and prepare you for greater things. Your pain is not wasted, it is part of a larger tapestry being woven into your life. Though you may not see the full picture now, God sees it clearly, and he is working all things together for your good. God's intimate knowledge of your pain also means he knows what you need to endure it. He knows the strength you require, the comfort you seek, and the peace that will sustain you. He provides these things in abundance, often in ways that go unnoticed until you look back and see his hand at work. His presence is constant, and his care is unrelenting. Even when the pain feels overwhelming, his grace is sufficient, and his love is steadfast. In your pain, God does not stand at a distance. He draws near to you, closer than anyone else ever could. He is with you in the quiet moments of despair and in the loud cries of frustration. He does not flinch from your honesty or recoil from your brokenness. Instead, he meets you in the midst of it, offering his presence as a source of comfort and strength. God knows your pain intimately, and because he knows, you can trust that he is not indifferent to it. He is the God who heals, who restores, and who redeems. He sees your tears, hears your cries, and feels your hurt. And because he knows, he acts with love, with purpose, and with the promise of a future where pain will be no more. God's activity in your life is constant, intentional, and always for your good. Even in moments when you cannot see his hand or understand his ways, he is working on your behalf. His presence is not passive or distant, it is active and engaged, shaping the details of your life with care and precision. Nothing that happens to you is outside of his awareness or beyond his ability to use for your benefit. He works in ways that are often unseen, orchestrating events and aligning circumstances to bring about his purpose for you. What may seem like delays, detours, or disappointments are often the very things he uses to position you for blessings you cannot yet comprehend. God's plans are higher than yours, and his timing is perfect. While you may feel impatient or uncertain, he is never late, never rushed, and never inattentive. Every moment of waiting is a part of his process, preparing you for what is to come. Even in the hardest seasons of your life, God is working. When you face challenges that seem insurmountable, when pain feels overwhelming, or when the future appears uncertain, He is present and active. He takes what the enemy meant for harm and turns it into something good. He is the God who can transform ashes into beauty, who brings order out of chaos, and who turns mourning into joy. No situation is too difficult for Him, and no pain is beyond His power to redeem. God's work on your behalf is not limited to your immediate needs, it extends to your eternal destiny. He sees the full scope of your life from beginning to end, and He is constantly moving you toward the fulfillment of His purpose. Every trial, every victory, every closed door, and every opportunity is part of His divine plan to shape you into the person He created you to be. While you may not always understand His methods, you can trust His heart. He works through people, circumstances, and even the natural world to provide for you, guide you, and protect you. He places the right people in your path at the right time, opens doors you could never open on your own, and shields you from dangers you may never even realize. His provision is often subtle, but always sufficient, meeting your needs in ways that remind you of His faithfulness. God is not only working in your external circumstances, but also within you. He uses the trials you face to build your character, strengthen your faith, and deepen your reliance on Him. The challenges you endure are not wasted. They are tools in His hands to refine you and prepare you for greater things. Every struggle is an opportunity for growth, every obstacle a chance to learn, and every difficulty a moment for His power to be revealed in your life. When life feels overwhelming and you wonder if God is truly working, remember that His ways are often beyond your understanding. Just as a gardener prunes a plant to encourage growth, or a potter molds clay into a masterpiece, God's work in your life may involve processes that feel uncomfortable or even painful. Yet these moments are part of His greater plan to bring you to a place of abundance, purpose, and fulfillment. God's commitment to you is unwavering. He is not a passive observer of your life, but an active participant who is deeply invested in your well-being. He knows your needs before you voice them, understands your struggles before you face them, and provides solutions before you even recognize the problems. His work on your behalf is continuous, tireless, and driven by a love that knows no bounds. In every season of your life, God is working. Whether you are on the mountaintop or in the valley, whether you feel strong or weak, His activity in your life remains constant. He is the God who makes a way where there seems to be no way, who brings light into the darkest places, and who turns impossible situations into testimonies of His power. Even when you cannot see it, He is working. Even when you cannot feel it, He is moving. And even when you doubt it, He is faithful. You can rest in the assurance that God is always on your side, always working for your good, and always committed to bringing His plans to fruition in your life. His work is not contingent on your perfection or your ability to understand. It is rooted in His character and His promises. No matter what you face, you can trust that He is working all things together for your good and for His glory. In the end, the assurance that God is always working on your behalf provides the foundation for unshakable faith and enduring hope. It reminds you that you are never alone, never abandoned, and never without purpose, no matter what you face. His constant activity in your life, though often unseen, is always for your good, shaping your present and future with love and care. Trust in His plan, rest in His promises, and hold on to the truth that He is working all things together for your ultimate good and His greater glory. In every season and every circumstance, God is for you, and His work will never fail.